African heads of state and government are presently converged on Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, to deliberate on goals and appraise the progress towards the 2063 convention of the African Union. It's the 33rd summit of the heads of state and government. President Muhammadu Buhari is in attendance, same as President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, who at the end of the summit will be assuming the chairmanship of the body, as he'll be taking over from Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt. Here now to help us bring some informed perspective to all of this is Ambassador Segun Akinsanya, a former Nigerian ambassador to Ethiopia and currently chairman, Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria. Welcome to the program, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Excellency, good morning. Good to have you here.
My pleasure.
I mean, you were in Addis for a very long time, so you are used to AU summits, having been one of the key players at the AU Secretariat. In 2013, the African Union resolved that conflict is a major challenge to the progress of Africa. And now this year, silencing the guns is a theme that the heads of states have chosen as a major target to be able to achieve the objective of development within the framework of Agenda 2063. Now, how important is this? And why is the emphasis more on Sudan and Libya, whereas conflict is widespread across Africa?
Well, thank you very much. You are very much aware I was Nigerian ambassador to Ethiopia. That was the time that Nigeria was in the chair of the African Union, with President Obasanjo as the chair of the African Union. And our Minister of Foreign Affairs at that time was in charge of the Executive Council. I had the privilege of being the chair of the PRC, Permanent Representatives Committee, and we had it for 2 years. That was the time we laid the emphasis on building the infrastructure, African continental infrastructure. EU, as you're aware, over the years, with the establishment of UAU and the transformation to the EU, has had, during those periods up to 2013, a consolidation of the political independence. In the wisdom of the African heads of states at that time, under Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma as the chair of the African Union Commission, it was felt that there was need now to look at the developmental elements of the African Union, see what strategies can be put in place, and that was how Agenda 2063 came in. And within that context, there was also the need to energize responses to peace and security, and how you can free resources for development. And so the theme for the 33rd session is silencing the guns and creating conditions for economic development. You will agree that Africa has been plagued with conflicts. There was a movement from interstate conflicts to intrastates. A lot of progress was made on interstate, but now it's more of interstate, and it has now been exacerbated by extremism, terrorist attacks, and all that. And this is the year 2020. It was supposed to be 2013 to 2020. And we had a lot of aspirations. How do we make peace? There cannot be development without peace, and there cannot be peace without development. It is about time that African countries re-strategize to find a way that they can now pursue development. There have been quite a lot of policies that were put in place: the Cardiff for cultural development, peace and security architecture, fighting, poverty, improving governance, inclusiveness, and more importantly, with the after regional integration, unity, how do we ensure that African leaders now re-strategize to make this year to resolve, to make peace.
How indeed, sir, because we have, as Dr. Abati was saying, a strong emphasis now on South Sudan and Libya. But can you bring it home for us and just, explain to our viewers the nexus between the instability in Libya and the increase in terrorism and armed banditry here, and such that efforts by the federal government, like the visa on arrival policy, were met with a knee-jerk suspicion of, all the jihadists are going to come swarming in. So can you explain how the situation in Libya is extremely relevant to Nigeria?
Well, the situation in Libya over the years have been very serious. I mean, as Ruben knows, I later worked with a Pan-African Research Institute for Security Studies. We do quite a lot, produce a lot of papers on peace and security. The issue in South Sudan has really been protracted in terms of finding unity. Of course, there are the IGAD and other sub-regional organizations who are involved in finding peace. But till now, not much has been achieved on that, but this is of concern. And how do you ensure the government of unity in South Sudan? In Libya, of course, with the exit of Gaddafi and all. Yes, and then all the cells that grew up, and then the situation in the country has been very serious. And then there's a lot of foreign intervention. But one of the things that came out of the 39th session of the Peace and Security Council, which President Buhari attended, was how to get Africa countries to be really involved in the issue of Libya. There are reports that even the past chairman of the African Union, Sisi, was one of those that were supporting the groups there. But there is a move now to get Africa involved. In fact, UN Secretary General Guterres did make allusion to that. So what has happened in the Sahel, and of course with all the terrorist attacks, has some foundations in the situation in Libya. And there is a strong belief that if there is a unity, if they are able to find enduring solutions to the problems of Libya, then there will be some improvements. And that is why also that the issue of African solutions for African problems is no longer a cliche. It's a program of action. A program of action that will lead to African solutions for Africans to have some introspection, how to move forward to ensure that there's ownership in the peace support operations. There's ownership, and that is experienced also where there's a peace fund, of which Nigeria is one of the highest contributors, that to break the dependence or over-reliance on foreign donors in finding solutions to African problems. I think these are all the issues. The issue of terrorists, the issue of bandits is of concern.
Your Excellency, sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
We have just about a minute to go.
Oh, my.
You are also chairman of the Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria, ACAN. And
Lagos branch and
Lagos
national
branch. Now,
vice
what's the level of synergy between your association and the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Because I've been complaining that there seems to be a disconnect. Once your generation left, it looks like something went wrong.
Well, we have the Foreign Ministry has a lot of professionals, over 200 professionals that have gone through the Foreign Ministry. And they have represented Nigeria in various forms. The ACAN is poised to, first, the welfare of the retired career ambassadors is primordial. At the same time, we have independent opinions on certain issues. And we have turned in a lot of policy papers. For instance, on Morocco, when Morocco was making frantic efforts to join the West Africa, we did a paper, we met the president, we met the vice president, and we felt that this is what...
Well, Your Excellency, we don't have more time.
Yes, but I'm giving you the journal.
It's just good to have an idea that there's some kind of engagement
We are engaging with
Yes.
the foreign
Thank you
ministry,
very much
and we
indeed.
provide our input
Thank you,
to the foreign policy perspective.